Welcome to Las Vegas Motor Speedway, where it's time for NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying for Sunday's Shelby American, the third race in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series for 2010. It's been cool and overcast all day long through two nationwide series practices and the one Sprint Cup practice. The temperature has fought its way up almost to 60 degrees, but the forecast is still cloudy. Jimmie Johnson will be the first car on the clock. Here's Dick Berggren.
And Jimmie Johnson, a stunning victory last weekend, leading the most laps, coming home with the big checkered flag, but a lot of worry about broken axles in the Hendrick camp. Is that problem squared away for this weekend?
We're going to find out. I think so. We had something at Daytona, and then last weekend had a little issue with the 88. So I know the guys have made some adjustments and changes from there, but I try not to ask too many questions. I really don't want to know what is fragile or has a problem on the car. I leave that up to Chad and all the smart guys, and I just climb in this Cobalt Tools and Paul and drive the heck out of it.
All right, good for you. He was third quick in practice, so he's a threat to win the pole.
Thanks, Dick. Well, here we go. Let's get ready to qualify. Mike Choi, Larry McReynolds, Darrell Waltrip with you. Last week at Fontana, Larry, the early draw, whether it was the weather, the track condition, or what, that seemed to be the way to go. What about today?
Well, again, I think it's a lot like California to some degree. I'm just not sure where the weather's at, and you saw it. It's been overcast, cloudy, and cool this entire day during that hour-and-a-half practice. I'm just not sure there's an advantage one way or the other, but I do know what we could have an advantage in seeing, and that is we don't get to say it much, a new track record. Fast here.
Pretty sure
Juan
that.
Montoya was faster than the track record set last year, so I think we will see that.
And so was Sam Hornish. His best practice lap was also quicker than Kyle Busch's track record. A lot of Chevys at the top of the board in practice, Darrell. Occasionally a Dodge like Hornish's or a Ford or a Toyota would creep up there.
Yeah, you never know which manufacturer may have the advantage, but here's the thing that makes me nervous. One word that Jimmie Johnson said, adjustments. Now, I've been out there practicing. I come in and I say, I'm just a little tight. Free me up for qualifying. I'll be just right. I go down into turn one and I say, whoa, that's a little bit more freeing up than I wanted. So that's what you worry about as a driver. Did they make the right adjustments so I can flat-foot it almost around here? Because that's what it's going to take.
At a place like this, when he tells me I'm a little tight, I need to be freed up, I'm going to actually tighten him up a little bit more.
That's a great move. Great move.
Let's get the thoughts of the fastest man in practice, practicing under the current track record. Here's Dick.
That would be Juan Pablo Montoya. So the question is, are you going to go out bonsai, try to win the pole, and maybe threaten that hot rod of yours, or are you going to be a little more conservative in your time trial?
Go out there and see what the car will give me, I think, everybody does runs before qualifying and everything, and I think this Target Chevy is pretty good, It's always exciting to be here. We'll see.
Montoya has been fast all year long, Krista.
Well, someone else who goes out early is Marcus Ambrose, and I don't know what's tougher, qualifying here in Las Vegas or climbing a mountain. You did that this week, right?
Yeah, we actually stayed out here on the West Coast for a few days, and we climbed some mountains in California and here. Not big ones, just a couple of thousand feet in elevation change. But we went up in sneakers up in the snow, and we got up there, and then we thought, how are we going to get down? It was pretty hard getting down, but just getting outside and getting away from racing for a while was good for us this week. We've had a terrible start. We've had two non-finishes in the first two races, so we're looking to turn our fortunes around, and the best thing you can do is actually just forget about it for a while.
Clear your mind a little bit. Good luck today, Marcus. Mike?
Thanks, Krista. 35 drivers are locked into the field by car owner points. We're still using 2009's final points. That means these drivers must qualify on time. Two of them will go home, and Bobby Labonte will not be one of those two because he has the past champions provisional if needed. So we're getting set to roll the first car. We'll do that when we come back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. You're watching NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying live on Speed. Speed's presentation of NASCAR Sprint Cup qualifying from Las Vegas is presented by Subway Restaurants. Now any regular footlong is just $5. Any. So hurry. Now there's some hot rods. Never mind that warthog in the background. There's some horsepower right there. And there's some weather over there off to the west. Beautiful vistas outside Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Here's your Bass Pro Shops track description. Mountains and Air Force Base not included.
See, the banking in the corners 20 degrees. We actually determined earlier, confirmed that this is what we call progressive banking. It's actually 18 degrees in the bottom groove, up to 19 degrees in the middle, 20 degrees at the top. The higher you go, the more banking. We expect these cars qualifying to be right around the bottom of this racetrack.
And one reason I think these cars are so fast, when you look at this racetrack, look how black the turns are. These tires that we're running here this time are really laying down some rubber.
Krista?
We're actually down here talking about snow skiing with Brian Vickers, and I hope you're not going to be sliding around out there. We're talking about some of your extracurricular activities, and I imagine you've been into quite a few this week.
Yeah, no, I went boarding and skiing for this week for a few days, and it was good just staying out west. I actually shot a TV show Monday, so I had some work to do and then tried to work in a day or two of skiing. But my boys, it's going to be pretty cool. I did a nationwide spot and then played myself, which makes it a lot easier. But I was expecting like a cameo, right? You know, maybe a line or two I show up. There's like 3 pages of lines, and I had to remember the whole thing. So it was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. Everyone was so nice on the TBS set and my boys. But, you know, now here we are at Las Vegas, you know, back in Vegas. The car was not what we were looking for in practice. We made a lot of gains on it, but we mainly stayed on race trim. We only got 1 qualifying trim, and it was like last minute, just, you know, bonsai'd and not real happy. So we've made a lot of changes. We're crossing our fingers for qualifying, but, you know, the good news is we made the car a lot better for race trim. So if it rains tomorrow, I feel a lot better.
Well, who knew all these interviews for us on Speed would be prepping you for your TV career, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks,
like
Krista.
We had a lot of drivers that were active this week out here on the West Coast doing a lot of different things.
I've not been able to confirm, but I was told that Kevin Harvick took his entire Nationwide Series team and stayed out. They all stayed out, went right from California straight here to Las Vegas. Might have been cheaper to fly home and spend a few days and come back. I don't know. We'll have to see.
I did that once.
Yeah.
One time it rained out Riverside, so we spent a week, so we all came to Vegas. When I finally got everybody out of jail and got them back to Riverside.
Bad idea, huh?
Not a good idea. Broke, busted.
2 drivers have been excused from their qualifying draw position. A.J. Allmendinger, who was scheduled to go out 10th, has engine trouble. Krista?
Thought they told me.
Yeah, we have caught up with A.J. Allmendinger. Practice a little interesting, to say the least, for you?
Yeah, not exciting. The Valvoline Ford, we weren't very fast, and then we blew it up. So it is what it is. We'll get out there and qualify whenever the car gets out here. It's not out here yet, so I'm waiting on it. But we'll just go put a lap in. We know we got to start at the back, and unfortunately, if it rains tomorrow, we don't have a lot of good notes to go off of what we did in practice. So we'll just keep fighting.
All right. Thanks, AJ.
The other car that is excused is Kevin Harvick, who hit the wall very early in practice, on about the 2nd lap, that is. And they are still repairing body damage on his car. Now he will be able to start where he qualifies. He was scheduled to go out 19th, and he has been excused.
Well, I think we'll know what this racetrack has in her right off the bat here.
Yep.
48 car Jimmy Johnson was 3rd quickest in practice.
This be testing 1, 2, 3. Coming at you.
3 wins and 8 starts here. That is quite an impressive stat. He led the first 50 laps here last year, a total of 92.
I just heard him go into turn 3, never got out of the throttle. Eased up out of it, he never got all the way out of it, I should say. Eased it in there with it pretty much throttle down.
Well, he knows the money lap will probably be lap 1, and that's so important how you get through 3 and 4 come to take this green flag.
Car moved a little bit more in that turn than I think he wanted to, Larry. Saw it kind of do the hoochie coochie over those bumps.
I mean, this is a 1.5-mile racetrack, 198 miles an hour off into turn 3.
Down that little short back straightaway. This front straightaway is much longer.
Track record 29.033. 5 1/1000ths of a second. Johnson 29.038.
And we were just, Larry and I were prime, baby. We were ready to go. We're going to jump all over that. I think he's going to go for 2.
I believe he is too. I don't know that we picked up on anyone. for
Which
now.
is really a joke because you are the first car to go.
I think Jimmy was waiting.
That's enough.
I think Jimmy was waiting for somebody to tell him something.
Yeah, good lap, bad lap.
Yeah, because I don't think he'll be happy with that lap. I don't
think that'll sit on the pole.
No, I don't either. No. I think he left a lot on the table down here in turn 1 and 2. I say that and always like, what am I thinking? he'll be okay with the lap. He just won't be thrilled with the lap.
I'm sure he felt like he was pole material.
But here's another guy that could very well just go right into the 28s.
And another Hendrick Chevy. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has 2 runner-up finishes here, 1 third-place start. Had axle trouble at California, finished 32nd. Green flag for Jr.
And what'll be interesting about this lap is, you know, we monitored him closely in practice. He was at the top of the practice charts for quite a bit, but he ended up 9th quickest, not that happy with his car when practice ended.
Looked, I don't know, he may have slowed down getting into that corner, but he looked much better than Jimmy Johnson did getting into turns 1 and 2.
Daryl, if he gets off 3 and 4, this is going to be a huge lap well into the 28s.
The fat lady is clearing her throat. She's about to sing. It's a new track record.
And look at that, 188 miles an hour, 28.697. Holy cow.
He didn't break the track record. He shattered it by 0.3 of a second.
That is a lap right there. That's one of those laps you run, you go, boys, have at it.
Well, you know, remember in practice, he was at the top of the sheet. Then they worked on the car a little bit, and he said it was junk.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, they fixed the junk.
In fact, he said jump 3 times, and he beat the track record by 0.3. Boris said is next.
Unjunked it.
Boris said is our 3rd qualifier. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has broken the track record. This is Boris's first time here in a Sprint Cup car. He has run 2 Camping World Truck Series races here, but here, as at California, he's struggled in practice.
And he was the slowest of our 45 cars that we have here.
Yeah, he's just going to put one down and quit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You think about this. Dale Jr. 28.69. He's almost 2 seconds off the pace there, and the car didn't look good.
Now again, because this car has a technical alliance with Roush Racing, and as part of their purchase of parts and equipment and know-how, along came the points from Jamie McMurray's number 26 from last year, a team that Roush had to divest of to get down to the NASCAR ownership cap of 4 teams per organization. So Boris said we'll race here on Sunday. Krista.
And with the current pole sitter, Dale Earnhardt Jr., so 0.3 of a second, you smashed the old track record. I would imagine you're pretty happy with that lap?
Yeah, it's a good lap. We worked really hard in practice to get the National Guard Amp Energy car as good as we could, and it paid off. So Lance and the guys did a good job.
Thanks, Dale.
I think you could hear it in his voice. He's out of breath after running that lap.
Yeah, I am too.
Who wouldn't be? Elliott Sadler.
When you say that's breathtaking, that was breathtaking.
Yes, sir.
3 top 10 starts for Elliott in 11 Las Vegas races. And they've all come in the last 5 races here. 2 24th place finishes to start the season, though.
And kind of struggled in practice earlier. 34th quickest with this Ford.
Doesn't seem like he can get it to the bottom. It doesn't surprise me to see guys run up a little off the bottom of 1 and 2, miss the bumps, but he was way high in 3 and 4 too.
29.43 for Sadler puts him 3rd. Coming up, Marcus Ambrose, Brian Vickers, Juan Pablo Montoya. Marcus Ambrose will be the 5th driver to take time in the Kingsford Camry. He time trialed 5th here last year. That was his best oval track start in NASCAR Sprint Cup until he qualified 3rd at Homestead.
You know, we talked to him before qualifying. He talked about climbing a mountain. Mike, you know what mountain he climbed? Mount Baldy. We're right to the north of the Speedway. Went up there hunting a gold mine. We know he loves prospecting and looking for gold.
Well, California's nope, was nowhere near there. Never mind. I'll tell you later.
Was it be like back east somewhere?
Yeah, no, never mind.
Yeah.
I was thinking First Gold Mine, but I was thinking Reed's Gold Mine in North Carolina, and I confused it with something else. I'll do that from time to time. First lap for Ambrose.
Pretty good run right here.
29.27. He is 3rd fastest. Dick.
With Carl Edwards, the new dad, just taking a minute to talk to his car chief, Pierre Coutel. You got a ways to go. Not a very fast car during practice.
Bob said the 88 ran a 69. I said a 29.69. He said no, a 28.69. So we've got to pick up a 1.5 seconds from our practice lap. The good thing is conditions are cooled off. I think everyone's going to pick up Our Aflac Fusion is, you know, we had one run in qualifying trim. We're planning on it raining a little bit tomorrow. We got Kellogg's and Cheez-Its on board, and I hope we have a good qualifying run here, but really the focus is on the race for us. We've got to be better in the race.
And we remind you that last year Kyle Busch won from dead last.
All right.
There.
And when they put Carl in the car, the old crew chief, Bob Osborne, will reach in, pat him on the back and say, you can do it.
It'll stick.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
you can do it. You've only got a second and a half. You can do it. That's always my favorite part.
Ambrose ran 2 laps. The second was slower by 12/100ths. Here is Brian Vickers.
I don't think that second lap would pay off unless you just go down here and turn it sideways and kill the lap. But I don't see if you get a decent first lap, that second one's going to be any better.
Vickers started 3rd here in 2004, missed the show in 07, and got a top 10 finish here last year.
He's had a decent season so far. He ended up finishing 15th in the 500 and kind of a photo finish last week with his teammate Scott Speed. Ended up finishing 12th, puts Brian 14th in the points after 2 races.
You can just tell the drivers are a little tentative with getting into turn 1 down there with those bumps down low. They seem to go around them or above them, the guys that are just not sure about their cars.
$29,275 nips Ambrose by 2/1000ths and puts Vickers 3rd.
I mean, what I'm seeing here so far with our first 5 or 6 cars, at least 4 of them has picked up a half a second plus from what they practiced earlier. Brian looks like he's going to go ahead and possibly run this second lap like Ambrose.
And from a driver's perspective, it feels like you're going as fast, but it just never shows up on the stopwatch.
2/100ths difference, but a little slower. So let's bring out the driver who was fastest in practice.
This will tell us how good Dale Jr.'s lap really was. I think this is a good test right here because we may be surprised how fast Juan is when he gets finished.
Montoya qualified 4th here in 2007. Lost an engine at California after leading 29 laps and what had been a pick to win.
Don't be surprised if he runs some sort of unorthodox looking line because he never does conventional what everybody else does. He may be all the way up in the loose stuff down here 1 and 2.
You know, he's going to be on our trackside show coming up shortly tonight. I challenge you to ask him about some of his lines.
I will now. There he goes. He's not anywhere near the bottom, and he likes that though. He kind of arcs it in and then tries to diamond it a little bit, I guess.
Remember what they said about Dustin Hoffman in the movie Little Big Man? He's a contrary. And sometimes that's what his line is to everybody else here. Contrary.
He flirted with it getting off into turn 3, but it's not going to beat Dale Jr.'s lap.
No, it's a great lap.
Great lap.
28.90, also under the old track record.
Yep.
That's 2/10 off of what Dale Earnhardt Jr. ran. I'm going to tell you, that was a sporty lap.
But it's a 10th faster than what he practiced. David Reagan, Carl Edwards, Regan Smith coming up. David Reagan, UPS Ford, has 3 starts here. None of his starts impressive, but he does have 1 top 10 finish.
You know, this has been quite the track for Roush Fenway Racing. 6 Cup wins, 5 nationwide wins, 3 wins in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series for a total of 14 wins in the top 3 NASCAR series.
Yep, leads all owners in all 3 categories. Pretty amazing. But, you know, that kind of tells us a lot about Roush, I think. We could have almost said the same things last week at California, how they dominated that joint. Didn't come away with a victory. We'll see how it works out for them this week.
David runs right at 29 flat, puts him 3rd quickest.
That's a big pickup.
That's a pretty good lap. Donnie Wingo did a nice job getting him ready to go to qualify.
He is the fastest of 3 Fords so far.
3rd right now. Good job. Good pickup.
That's Donnie.
David flew with the Thunderbirds yesterday at Nellis Air Force Base just out the backside of the Speedway.
Wow, we had the Blue Angels last week, Thunderbirds this week.
What'll it be in Atlanta?
Doesn't get any better than that.
Hammond gonna jump out of a perfectly good airplane or something?
You just never know.
Come in one of those big military helicopters.
He's done that before too, dangling from it.
Him and some of his boys.
Carl Edwards won here in 2008 from the outside pole. And since this track was reconfigured, has finishes of 6th, the win, and 17th.
And that 17th was a unique 17th. He blew up on the last lap and coasted across the finish line. Carl was 36 quickest in practice, as you heard him tell Dick Berggren. He's got to pick up a 2.5 seconds to compete with that lap of Junior. Pretty good looking lap, though. It's going to be a top 5 run for him right now, it looks like.
Nose is up just a little high on that car down the straightaway. Got to be hurting it some, I think. But
well, he pips his teammate Reagan with a 28.94. That is quite a pickup.
Yep, another car in the 28s.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Regan Smith on track. Let's check with Krista.
Well, down here with Juan Pablo Montoya. The good news, you broke the old track record. The bad news is it's not good enough for the pole. So are you throwing your hands in the air? What can you do?
No, it's okay. You know, it's crazy. Somebody always there as well. So it's good. You know, the Target Chevy is incredible. This week it's kind of special for Target, you know, with that big shopping cart here. And I'm going to be driving it to, you know, tonight for that show. And it's exciting. You know, it's cool. I don't know. I can't complain. You know, do I want to be first? Of course I want to be first. But hey, we're there every week. That is important to see.
Absolutely. Driving a big shopping cart for trackside. He's driving this race car, luckily, for Sunday.
Going to have to get on that boy, Larry. It's not that show.
It's the show.
It's the show. It's the Friday night party.
Now, the word is Rutledge Woods actually going to be driving Montoya in the big shopping cart.
It doesn't sound like Juan knows that.
Yeah. I don't think they filled him in on that part yet.
I'm not sure that Rutledge knows it yet.
Regan Smith, 29.25. He has 3 nationwide and 1 truck series start here, so that is 6th quickest for the Furniture Row Chevy.
This little team does a good job, man. They maximize everything they got.
Had a good run last week.
Sure
he ran
did.
up there in the top 10 for quite a bit.
So Smith is 6th of 10. And Casey Kane told us in practice he was glad to see the Budweiser Ford back in red. They had an Olympic paint scheme on it the last 2 weeks, and he's happy to see it back in red.
Yeah. Tradition.
Yeah, the white car didn't do it for him somehow.
Didn't get the results. I know that.
He normally qualifies well here. He has 6 starts. 5 of those starts were in the top 10.
And he won the nationwide race here in 2006.
Ooh. I don't know if he intended to be that high or not, but that hurt his lap quite a bit. See if he can overcome it down the back into 3 here. Looks much better here. Kind of clipped the apron getting in there. Nice line getting into 3. Pretty good speed off of 4.
Lost a little ground, though, late exit of turn 4. Looks like he's going to be 5th quickest at a 29.033. Yeah, we were talking about him in practice, one of those teams where I don't think where they finished was indicative of their performance. 30th at Daytona, 34th last week, puts him 33rd in the points after 2 races.
Casey's going to play 2, but this lap's going to be a little slower.
Yeah, the little yellow line represents his first lap.
29.18 on lap 2. Dick?
I'm chasing Mark Martin, who won the very first ever NASCAR Sprint Cup race here. Racetrack has changed a good bit since then. And while we watch these guys take their time trials, so many of them dip down below the white line and then go through that transition up onto the racetrack. What's it feel like in the car when you're doing that?
It's not that big a deal, really, because you're really on the straightaway. I mean, you're kind of turning, but not really. So it'd be different if you were trying to do that in the corner. It'd be big trouble, but on the straightaway there, it's no big deal.
All right, thanks. Wish you good luck today in your qualifying effort. 51-year-old driver. He has got rap music in his CD player, and he doesn't eat the crust on his bread when he eats a sandwich either. He's just a kid at heart when you get right down to it.
Speaking of kids, here's Joey Logano. Has 1 trip here last year. His rookie season started 20th, finished 13th. And that was his first career lead lap finish. in Sprint Cup racing. And look at that tracker.
Yeah, I was going to say, he got off at 2 better than anybody has all day right there with that lap. Let's see what if he can hold it down here in 3 and 4. That thing really got up out of the hole off of 2. Lost it here, though.
But it's going to be a great lap. He looks like he wants to share that front row with Dale Earnhardt Jr. Second quickest, 28.78. Good lap.
Get you some of that, boys.
Travis Kvapil will be the 13th driver on the clock in the Long John Silver's Ford. He has 1 pole and 1 Truck Series win here, and a best start in a Sprint Cup car of 6th in 2005.
You know, I think it's kind of twofold on what Dick was asking Mark Martin a while ago. When you do what these guys are doing on the front straightaway, you're shortening the racetrack up for one thing, and then you get maybe what you would hope, a little bit of a run down that hill coming off. The front straightaway's banked just a little bit, get that run down the hill toward the finish line.
Yeah, mainly you're just shortening up the track, just shortening the distance of the track that little wee bit. And like I said, that front straightaway here, the apron is so wide that getting down on it doesn't hurt a thing.
Travis was 31st quickest in practice earlier.
He's going to be 8th with a 29.18. That makes him the 4th fastest Ford right now.
But I also think that this front straightaway is a good example of why they don't pave everything. Because if they paved everything, they'd be running, like down the back straightaway at Daytona. If you didn't have the yellow line that's all paved, they'd be all the way over next to Lake Lloyd, for heaven's sake.
Right. Well, A.J. Allmendinger was scheduled to go out 10th. He's going to be the 14th car on the clock. He was excused from that spot because of the engine change. He started 19th here last year as he gets the Valvoline Ford up to speed. Dick?
With David Rudiman, first time he ever came here with the Sprint Cup car was a D&Q, not fast enough to make the show, but last year timed in 4th quick. How'd you learn so much so quickly?
We just started building better cars at Michael Waltrip Racing, and we got a good-looking Tums Toyota here this weekend. Our first race with Tums on board, and we're happy to have them. And we didn't get a chance to get a qualifying run the way we needed to. We kind of ran out of time towards the end there. We were mainly working on race trim stuff because a little concerned about rain in the desert tomorrow, so we may not get much practice. So mainly concerned on race runs, and didn't make many qualifying runs, but hopefully we'll be okay.
He'll have a good run because Dad is here. Buzzy's right around the corner.
Thanks, Dick. Like this paint scheme, the King's number and Mark Martin's old Valvoline paint scheme combines for Allmendinger. And the clock says... the clock is frozen up. Give us a second here. Krista?
Down here with Joey Logano when he brought his car in, and I heard you say, I like this. Are you talking about the race car?
No, I'm just talking about the season in general. It's been a lot better than last year with the Home Depot Toyota. I tell you, they did a good job at this thing. We were struggling a little bit after, last season or last race we qualified. I didn't feel like we did a good job at California and keeping up with the racetrack when it came to qualifying time. So this week we did a lot better job, and I don't think I got another 10th of me to get the pole, but I'm happy with that. It's cool to see us improving. I got to thank the Home Depot and their associates for staying behind us. The guys back at the shop working hard. We struggled a lot last year, and it's motivating to me to be able to come back and keep getting better runs, better qualifying times, and hopefully we can do this the rest of the season.
What a difference a year makes, Mike.
Thanks, Krista. Now we're still checking on A.J. Allmendinger's time. It did not come up on our scoring computer. NASCAR has several redundancies in case that happens. We're just going to have to wait for the result. Meanwhile, here is Jeff Burton in the Cat Chevrolet for Richard Childress Racing, whose best start here is 5th in 2007.
That's a word I just assume you lose from your vocabulary.
8th for Burton, 29.12.
Redundancy. I just think it'd be better if he didn't use that word.
Used to have a sign on my desk when I worked in Daytona. It said Department of Redundancy Department. It was a line from Firesign Theater back in the late 60s.
All I know is when you said that word, about 15 people up and down through here looked over to see what you were.
So Burton is 8th, and he's going to play 2. This lap's going to be 0.2 slower. So still checking on the dinger. We'll be right back with Paul Menard and Mark Truex. Paul Menard in the Menards Ford. who was fastest in nationwide practice, the first practice that is, this morning, and has 3 Cup Series starts here. He's the 16th driver on the clock. Let's check with Dick.
Tony is one of the busiest race car drivers here because in addition to driving and owning the Sprint Cup car, he's also got his Sprint car team. That's a mouthful, running across the street. So how do you focus on all this?
Easy. I do my job here, and then I watch them do their job over next door. So got to watch Levi Jones run last night when we got the defending World of Outlaws champion Donnie Schatz and the King of the Outlaws Steve Kinzer tonight. So it's pretty cool. It's fun. It's nice to come to a venue like this where you know, we can do our job during the day and get to go watch dirt races at night.
It's all right across the street. So literally all he has to do is hop into his car and drive less than a half a mile, and he's there.
Thanks, Dick. Now let's go back to A.J. Allmendinger as Paul Menard has clocked in 10th at a 29:22. The time for Allmendinger was 29.828. Remember, that's a car that's not been on track at all with that fresh engine change. 15th out of 16 for Allmendinger. That comes from NASCAR's head of timing and scoring, Steve Lowry.
And what's significant of that is he got to get 2 laps in with that engine for the first time, knowing that the weather forecast is a little iffy, and that wherever he ends up, that's where they select their pits at.
Menard's second lap is about a 10th slower, so he remains 10th, and he is the 5th quickest Ford right now.
Sitting 18th in the points right now after 2 races, and off to a pretty good start with that team.
Martin Truex Jr. finished 6th in Daytona and has 4 Cup Series starts here with 1 top 20 start and 2 top 15 finishes.
I found out what happened to his engine last week. Actually, it appears that some debris hit the timing belt and broke the timing belt on that engine is what the word was. He didn't get off turn 4. Something is wrong.
No, there's something wrong. I saw a little smoke come out of it in 3 and 4. Thought it was a little tire rub, but that engine's running sour.
You know, it was here a year ago that the Toyotas had an outbreak of engine issues. Almost every Toyota team, with the exception of Joe Gibbs Racing, changed engines before the race.
Got a plug wire off or something because it's just not running. It's not running clean.
You can kind of see it with the tracker there. He ends up 14th at a 29:35. Martin was 14th quickest in practice, but he's going to run this second one to no avail.
Not going to get any better.
It just doesn't sound clean. It's not running like it's got a half a cylinder missing.
Second verse, same as the first.
I know at California, Jeff Gordon had some spark plug issues. Almost sounds like something similar here that didn't run clean all the way around the track.
We'll try and find out after his run. Dick?
With Clint Bowyer, and he's watching a trio of the jets from Nellis Air Force Base, and they went right straight up, and that's kind of like the way your career is going right now. 4th and an 8th so far this year. What do you got for us today?
It's like the super duper looper. They come out of there 3 wide, and we did a big backflip and come cruising by. But we're supposed to be focusing on qualifying. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and your teammate Harvick's about to come out too.
I got to pay attention to him, and you know, the car was a little bit too tight. Worked on a little bit, got it too loose, so we kind of trying to find a happy medium here. Hopefully Kevin will lay a lap down here. Jeff wasn't too bad. Hopefully, you know, we'll be good.
Those Childress cars are so fast. You guys are doing well this year.
Thanks, Dick. Kevin Harvick has been here 9 times and only has 1 top 10 start. This is the car that slapped the wall in lap 2 of practice earlier today. They did not go to a backup car. They massaged on this one. Worked mostly on race runs, not on a qualifying run.
Pretty evil looking through the bumps, Larry. In the back of the car, really jacking up and down.
Yeah, he did not get that many laps in practice because of the time it took to repair this car. This would be another group, I'm sure, that would love to see some clear weather in the morning to get some practice sessions.
Watch this thing go through the bumps here. Bump, 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 bump. He just kind of shoots it up the track. That's really what happened to him in practice.
I'm hoping we'll get over there to talk to Martin Truex Jr. I'm getting a report that there was something going on with his ignition switch.
Harvick 29.43, 16th on lap 1, 29.33, picks him up to 14th on lap 2.
By far the first car of the cars that's run 2 laps that picked up a 10th on lap 2.
You want to see a fast lap? Watch this. The U.S. Air Force Thunderbirds in action.
Ooh.
I feel queasy. The 19th car to take time will be Kevin Conway, who finished 31st in his first career Cup Series start last week. He has one nationwide series race under his belt here. And Robbie Gordon did not make it to the line in time to make a qualifying run. They put the 5-minute clock on Gordon. It's expired. So he is a top 35 car. He will race Sunday, but he'll start out back.
They've had some kind of issue going on all day long, because that hour-and-a-half practice session was about half over before they ever even hit the racetrack for practice.
You know, Kevin here, Conway, he obviously hadn't been running up front or anything, but, you know, he's done a nice job getting his car in the race and then staying out of trouble and gaining that valuable seat time and experience.
He is 17th. The first lap 29.69, the second 29.77.
And you know, to your case there, Darrell, I think that's the one thing last week, if you look back at the Nationwide Series race with Danica Patrick, yeah, she didn't want to go to California and run well outside the top 25. But you know what? She ran the entire race. Nobody was mad at her, stayed out of trouble. So I think to some degree mission accomplished, which is what Kevin Conway has to do week in and week out right now.
Yeah, so many times rookies get in over their head, trying to impress somebody or trying to make up for something that they just don't have. Danica's done a good job of controlling that.
And she's on trackside tonight.
Yes, she is.
You folks. You saw Robbie Gordon's car being pushed back to the garage as Jeff Gordon talks things over. Here is Jeff's teammate Mark Martin. Qualified third here in 2008. He has 4 top 10 starts at this track and won the very first Cup race here in 1998.
He was well up in the top 5 in practice. Got a good run through the middle of 1 and 2 and off the corner. See what he can do down in turn 3 and 4.
Easing off. You see how the tracker backs up on entry, gets out of the throttle, but man, he mats it wide open. Coming up out of the hole, let's see if he's got the power to get up there and challenge Dale Jr.
Third at a 28.80, so Martin also is under the prior track record. He is the 4th driver to break 29 seconds. 5th driver to break 29
good race
seconds.
Car. Really good.
One Hendrick car left to qualify, and that driver is with Dick.
And that would be Jeff Gordon. So many people going so fast. We've seen the track record broken several times this afternoon. Where's the speed coming from?
You know what? I think the temperatures are cooling down. The cloud covers come in here, and it's qualifying. Everybody steps it up. So we're hoping we can step it up as well. Got a little Pepsi Max to help me give us a little boost. We're excited about our DuPont Pepsi Max Chevrolet this weekend. Kind of a new thing for us this year, and so far so good. The car was strong in practice. Hopefully we made the right adjustments here for qualifying. Got to decide whether I'm going to run the bottom in 1 and 2 or the top in 1 and 2, but we'll see if it works out.
All right, good luck to you. Thanks.
David Ruderman for Michael Waltrip Racing. His Toyota started and finished 4th here last year. Of all the drivers last year on 1.5-mile tracks, including his win at Charlotte, he was 5th in points scored on tracks of this size.
Definitely the 1.5 miles, I think, complimented David and this race team. Pretty decent little qualifying run, 28.99. You know, Darrell, you brought up something at the top of the show about this new construction of left side tire that's been brought here. Same compound, but the way it's built. You know, another thing that teams had to deal with coming in here that was a little bit of an unknown, NASCAR, this is one of the tracks they made a gear rule change at. It's about 10 points higher, less RPM than what we ran here a year ago.
Yeah, I remember last year out here, a lot of engine trouble, and everybody attributed it to the faster speeds and not the right gear. They didn't make it a right adjustment with the gear. So coming back this year, going a little higher was probably, that may even be why we're seeing these fast speeds.
It could be for qualifying.
Tony Stewart in the Old Spice Chevrolet. As Matt told us on one of the practice shows, he's never won a Cup race in the month of February. But he finished 9th last week. He has a 2nd place start and 1 second place finish here He's never won at Las Vegas.
Yeah, this is the only track on the circuit that he's not won a top NASCAR event. He has not won Cup races at Darlington or Auto Club Speedway. Feels pretty good about this lap, I think. And it is looking mighty good, but he has not won anything here at Las Vegas.
You just know when you put that throttle down in the middle of the corner.
I don't know how much, but it's faster.
It is fifth. It's fourth.
Fourth quickest.
28.88 for Tony Stewart.
Very nice.
Yeah, I mean, coming here to Las Vegas, Dick talked to the guys a while ago about it. We've had now 8 cars break the old track record, but coming here, you would have said, you know, you're going to run maybe in the 29.20s. You'd go, wow, I don't even know if 29.20 is going to get you in the top 20 today.
Right now at 29.20 is 13th, and we're not even halfway, almost halfway through the order.
Have you ever been up on top of that needle? Just
Stratosphere? No.
Yeah. Holy smokes.
They have a charity deal going on this week where you can climb all the stairs from ground level to the top of the needle for charity. No, thank you.
I know you think I'm a sick man for knowing this, but it's 108 floors, which is 1,455 steps you're climbing. But it's for a great cause. It's to raise money for the American Lung Association.
Does it still have those things that go out over the side? The
oh,
chairs?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
you do that?
my brother sent me a text last year, a picture of him doing that.
On that ride that circles the top there?
Yeah.
Again, no thanks.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Denny Hamlin looking at a 14th place run here. And if it holds up, it'd be his best start ever in 5 starts at Las Vegas. 29.25, 14th quickest for Hamlin. Coming up, Matt Kenseth, Clint Bowyer, and the Daytona 500 winner. Tonight, Paulo Montoya and his giant shopping cart, with or without Rutledge Wood, and Danica Patrick on trackside, 8:30 live, 8:30 Eastern, right here from Vegas, live on Speed.
We're even going to have them at least one segment together, so that'll be cool.
Matt Kenseth on the Speedway. Here's Dick.
With hometown favorite Kyle Busch, who last year won the pole here, had to start in the back because of an engine change, but he did everything right, wound up winning the race. But these guys are all breaking your track record. What do you think? Can you get it back?
I'll certainly give it a shot. You know, I don't know how great this M&M's Camry is, but you know, it was top 8, top 10 in practice, so we'll see what we can get here and try to lay off a lap. It's getting cooler out, so hopefully that's going to help us out a little bit in order to get some speed out of this Camry.
Well, you can rest assured this guy's going to have his foot in the gas pedal right through the floor, Mike.
You bet. Here's Kenseth, 6th fastest. He has make that 3 top 10 starts here. So it's been a pretty good track for him qualifying wise. 28.91. He also is faster than Kyle Busch's former track record.
Saw a lot of sparks.
That's what I'm talking about.
Todd Parrott, crew chief for the 2nd week.
And we understand that Matt's former crew chief, Drew Blickensderfer, is now the new crew chief for Carl Edwards' Nationwide car.
Yep.
So,
is that a return? Is that where he was when he got moved up?
He was in the Nationwide Series actually with Matt Kenseth and won a bunch of races with Matt in the Nationwide Series.
Clint Bowyer has 4 starts here with a best of 16th. He was the runner-up at the finish line here last year. That was his best finish of 2009. And as the Richard Childress Cheerios Chevy heads off to turn 1 on the clock.
Richard Childress' best Las Vegas finish for any of their cars, any of their drivers, has been 4th. It's one of 4 tracks that RCR has not won at of the 22 racetracks we go to.
Good run.
It's going to be a great run for Clint Bowyer.
Got a little bit off getting into 3.
It's going to be in the top 10 though for him right now.
8th for Bowyer, 28.94.
Yeah, he was the best Childress car in practice. Backed it up with a pretty good lap.
Next up, Jamie Mack and Jeff Gordon. Speed's coverage of Sprint Cup qualifying from Las Vegas is presented by Subway Restaurants. Now any regular footlong is just $5. Any, so hurry. And brought to you by Dish Network. Why would you ever pay more for TV? And by Atlanta Motor Speedway. Come see how NASCAR's big boys play Capture the Flag at Atlanta Motor Speedway, March 5th through the 7th. That's next weekend. Jamie McMurray sporting the new colors of McDonald's. The Daytona 500 winner has a 4th place start and finish here in 2004 when he last drove for Chip Ganassi.
Tracker went all the way to the pole getting in, but he couldn't hold it on the bottom. He kind of hopped up the hill with him, but he gave it a valiant effort, I'll say that.
Did you see what that thing did, though, across the bumps? So, you know, I think we talked earlier, if your car is good, it'll go through those bumps. If it's a little loose, it's going to get looser. If it's pushing, it's going to push worse as you chatter through those bumps in 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Well, this will likely end up being his best start on the new configuration, which previously was 33rd. He's 14th right now with a 29.17.
It almost looks like the front wheels come off the ground, almost like he's got the wheels turned and the car just skipping up the racetrack when he hits those bumps.
You know, Mike, you just did that Atlanta Motor Speedway promo. I guess a lot of people knew that, you know, they put a promotion that the number of the winning car from the Daytona 500, they put X amount of tickets on sale on Monday morning. How fast do you think those tickets went at $1 a piece?
Yeah, Ed Clark was probably complaining that Dale Jr. cost him $87 by not beating Jamie to the flag per ticket for those, what was it, 2,000 tickets?
Yeah, the good news is they cap it at $50, so that would have been the most that the tickets would have went for.
Not bad. Dick?
Well, Kurt Busch learned to race just beyond the first turn and across the street at a little track called the Bull Ring. And as he was doing that, he watched the cranes and the derricks and the bulldozers build this place. Hometown boy, how bad do you want to win on this big track?
Kyle got it last year, and it just gives me that much more desire to do it. And, you know, just to come back home and see everybody and see this track, it's like a second Daytona in 3 weeks for me. So hopefully we get a good run today. We've been struggling a little bit with the bumps, but all in all, good Miller Lite Dodge. Might rain tomorrow, but hey, it's going to be back home having fun and just all the people and all the places, all the things. This is my hometown. I love it.
We wish you the very best on your home track, Kurt. Thanks.
Thanks, Dick. Jeff Gordon is on a flyer in his Hendrick Chevrolet. This could be a pole-winning run, and that gap continues to increase as you look at that number with a white background next to his 24.
She's pegged.
Yeah, he's flirting with being lost a little bit late exit at turn 4, but I think
pretty good. Pole.
That was a little different from last week.
That's better than that old boy.
Another new track record,
yes, sir,
for Jeff Gordon.
Nailed it. Nailed it, boys. Pepsi Max must be working.
Jeff Gordon is quickest. Brad Keselowski and Sam Hornish next. Speed welcomes you back to Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We've had a huge power outage here. I think our power truck headed for Area 51. And a lot has changed since Sam Hornish ran. That's the last car you saw, which was the 30th car to go out. Hometowners prevail. Kurt Busch now has the pole. Took it away from Jeff Gordon with a run that was 11 thousandths quicker than Gordon's. Ryan Newman's run places him 3rd. That drops Earnhardt to 4th. Kyle Busch was 3rd when he ran. He's now 5th. That moves Joey Logano down to 6th. Greg Biffle has run 7th quickest. Also making laps, David Gilliland 36th fastest. Casey Mears 35th among the go-or-go homers. Mike Bliss 28th. Good lap for Joe Nemechek. He's 15th. Bobby Labonte 27th. And Eric Almirola ran 1 lap that was good for 34th fastest and then hit the wall in turn 2 of lap 2 with that James Finch car.
Car just really took off as it went into turn 1. He just never made the turn up the hill.
So Max Pappas is on the track. Here are the drivers you missed and where they ran.
It's actually the time that they ran. Yeah, you gave pretty much where they're at right now. And Eric Almirola by no stretch is out of this race right now. They'd have a lot of work to do, which I'm sure they would not mind doing.
And Max Pappas is in. He will race Sunday 21st fastest with a lap of 29.11. So the go-or-go-home drivers locked in are Joe Nemechek, Max Pappas, Bobby Labonte, and Mike Bliss. Eric Almirola is in question. Casey Mears is on the bubble. There are 4 drivers to go. There are just 2 spots available.
Well, if I was going to hedge my bet, or if I was going to have me a dark horse, put a little money on this dude right here, because he's a qualifying machine now.
Yeah, he sat on the outside of the front row at a couple of very similar racetracks to this at Las Vegas. Sat on the outside of the front row at Chicago and at Homestead the last race of the year.
He comes in here 15th in points, which is a huge uptick from last year, and has led in both of the Sprint Cup races so far this year. He did win a pole here for the Nationwide race last year.
Yeah, I think he was driving my brother's car last year and won the pole here.
And
That's right.
He was 16th quickest in that practice session we had earlier, and we know that this racetrack has definitely got some speed in it right now.
Looked pretty good. I don't know if he's certainly pole good, but he was looking good, and he's getting 2, 3, and 4 mighty fast.
4 drivers to go. 2 will go home. I don't think Scott Speed will be one of those. Nope. Wow, 23rd, good lap, 29:15. He will race on Sunday. And we say that with certainty because if you are faster than 2 of the cars that have already run, because 2 drivers go home, you're in the field. Scott Speed is, and he's going for 2.
We've seen a few cars pick up a little bit. Joe Nemechek picked up a little over a 10th on his second lap.
Off by 7/100ths from lap 1. Krista?
We've caught up with Ryan Newman very fast, and we were joking. Do we now, instead of calling you the Rocket, do we call you Tornado because of your new sponsor?
If you want to, that'd be great. The Tornado Chevrolet was really good all day today, and needed just a little bit more there in qualifying, but a great run for it. And really excited to debut the Tornado Chevrolet here in Vegas. And their family, the Ruiz family, is their first time involved in NASCAR. So I look forward to trying to give them some great things and some great results starting here.
All right, got a lot of sponsored friends out here, and yeah, what a great experience. Very fast here at Vegas.
Thanks, Krista. Dave Blaney is on track, and let's explain the Blaney saga. Qualified 5th here last week, or at California, led laps prior to the first green flag pit stop, and they were the random car that NASCAR took back to the R&D center, the random selection for a complete teardown and inspection post-race. I think Jimmy Johnson's was the other, the race-winning car. For Tommy Baldwin Racing, that put them in a bit of a hole because they intended to run last week's car here in Las Vegas. NASCAR did complete enough inspection they could take some of the parts and pieces from that car, bring them out here for use. But this is not the same car that they raced last week.
And actually Prism Motorsports.
Prism Motorsports.
Yeah,
Excuse me, not Tommy Baldwin. You're right. 35th for Blaney, 29:35, and that will make the race.
Just barely, but it's good enough to go in. You know, with all the cars that we've had run so far, still with 3 to go, we've had 17 cars beat the old track records so far.
2 cars to go. Michael McDowell and Terry Cook. Who will go on to Sunday and who will go home? Stay tuned. Speed's presentation of Sprint Cup qualifying is presented by Subway Restaurants. Now any regular footlong is just $5. Any. So hurry. And brought to you by Honey Nut Cheerios. Be happy, be healthy. And by eHarmony.com. Are you ready to fall in love? Michael McDowell trying to make his first Cup start here. This is the second Prism Motorsports car.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good lap.
And Casey Mears on the bubble is bumped. McDowell will race here on Sunday with a 29.
Good job. Good job.
29-27, and Casey Mears for the 3rd week in a row. His Raymond Key entry will head home.
Yeah, you hate to see that. You know, you miss the Daytona 500, which is huge, and then you do not qualify for the 2 West Coast races, and this is a car that's in jeopardy of being in the same position. Terry Cook did not qualify for the first 2 races.
Cook from out of the Camping World Truck Series, one of our Ray Bestis rookie contenders. will be the final qualifier, and if he's going to run Sunday, he needs to beat a 29.502. That is the time that Eric Almirola posted before hitting the wall on the second lap of his qualifying run. This is a team that has struggled to find speed. And Darrell, you see that nose porpoising on Cook's car.
Oh, man, that thing jacked. Oh, I thought he lost it.
He's still struggling with it.
If you could have seen the front wheels, they were pointed dead right. I mean, he had to really correct hard.
Set up to 3 and 4, roll up a little early. We'll get the second lap.
That's about all he can do, you know, is try to get this run coming back to take the white flag.
After that little episode in turn 1, I said, not me.
And you know, Darrell, I'm not so sure. A lot of cars had problems with this. I'm not sure that car didn't bottom out when it went across those bumps and shot him up the racetrack.
You can see it's just bouncing all over the place. And
the time he lost trying to gather that car back in cost him a second and a half.
Yeah, you just can't get it back when it's that bad. I mean, it just kind of takes all your confidence away.
29.502. Can Terry Cook knock out Eric Almirola?
The only thing worse than not making the race is wrecking the car and not making the race.
I don't think it's going to get there, and it will not. So Eric Almirola, that group, they've got a lot of work to do, but they're in the show.
And with a 29.88, Terry Cook once again is disappointed. So Kurt Busch, with the best previous start here is on the pole. Jeff Gordon is on the outside pole, and we'll talk to Kurt in a moment. Kurt Busch has just won his first career Sprint Cup pole position at his home racetrack. Dick Berggren.
Kurt, you were 21st quick in practice, but when it really counted, there you were, fastest man in Las Vegas. How much of that was just playing driver want to get it?
Well, we were struggling a little bit but in practice, but we stayed in race trim for so long, and then we only made one mock-up run, and it was really rough over the bumps, and so that's all we focused on, and I feel like that paid the dividends in the end. We didn't really tighten the car up or loosen the car up. We just focused on those bumps, and Addington's pretty smart with that, so I'm really excited about just the changes we made today, how we approached today, and to come out on top with a pole. I'm stoked. I mean, I was getting up on the wheel, don't get me wrong. I love Vegas. I love this atmosphere. I need to be able to get it together for the full 400 miles on Sunday, but today feels good right now.
And Addington was your little brother's crew chief last year when he won the pole. Didn't get to start there, but he won the pole and won the race. So how much of that setup is under your car?
I would say we used a combination of what I was familiar with and what he liked. And right now, that's what our biggest plan of attack is each week, is to go to the track. And we had success last year with our Miller Lite Dodge, and it feels good that we've got Addington's notes and his knowledge to blend into that. So I hope it's just a 1-2 punch for all the times we're making good adjustments. But hey, sometimes we're not going to hit it just right, but we'll take it right now. This feels really neat here at hometown in Las Vegas.
Well, congratulations on the pole, but if this guy wins the race on Sunday, man, they're going to party big in Las Vegas.
Kurt Busch will share the pole, or the front row, with Jeff Gordon, Ryan Newman, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Kyle Busch, the prior track record holder, one of 18 to break the record today, and Joey Logano.
I tell you, I felt pretty good about Kurt Busch coming out here. I know this was just qualifying today, but Dick Berggren talked about it. Steve Addington, his crew chief that sat on the pole, won this race a year ago. They've got that car they won Texas with in the fall. Kurt just ramps it up for this place. I felt pretty good about him coming out here.
Jimmy Johnson qualified 20th, first car out. Looks like he was right today. Going out early may have hurt him. He had no teammates to get any information from.
For Kurt Busch, it's the first pole in 83 races since he won his last one. Here's Krista.
Scott Speed in the show, and that seems so silly to say because you're still a go or go home guy, but you've got all the momentum right now with this race team.
Yeah, we still got to put in the show, though. So we're looking forward to Martinsville and being able not to have to worry about that anymore. So it'll be for sure a little bit of stress relief for all the guys on the AT team. But like you said, I mean, the momentum's going a lot, so hopefully we can keep riding that wave.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Krista. The two drivers who end up disappointed in this qualifying round are Casey Mears and Terry Cook. Neither of those drivers has made a Sprint Cup race this season.
And what Scott Speed was alluding to is they used the first 5 races, they used last year's owner's points. Once we get through 5, then it goes to the current owner points.
I get me a hat like that, like Scott had, and a pair of sunglasses like Juan's got. I'm in business, baby.
You could go anywhere and not be recognized, nor want to be.
I'm going downtown.
All right.
It's uptown, man. It's uptown.
Oh, I'll go there too.
You're not. You're going to trackside.
Oh, that's right.
Next,
a man with the glasses.
Next, the best of NASCAR 2009. Trackside coming up later with Danica Patrick and Juan Pablo Montoya and some big wheel shopping cart. We'll see you tomorrow, folks.